Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Dropping Dimes podcast by J.I. Dimes. And for today's episode, we will be talking about the Phoenix Suns. Okay, there. So before we start the video or the episode, please like and share the video both on YouTube and on Facebook. And you can also subscribe to the channel so that you will be updated always whenever we have videos. And of course, that will only be made possible if you also hit on the notification bell. Okay, so let's start off with this one. So again, we'll be talking about the Phoenix Suns for today's episode of our team preview series. Yeah, you can follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and even Twitter. You can also follow us or listen to the podcast on Spotify and Anchor. You can check the description for all the links. Okay, they are all available there. So just click on the description. Okay, let's now go to the storylines. Yeah, so what are the main storylines for the Phoenix Suns? They acquired Chris Paul. Yeah, the future Hall of Famer who will be now playing with Devin Booker, but he doesn't want to be called Devin Booker. He just wants to be called D Book. Okay, and then they still have 2018 first pick overall, DeAndre Ayton, who averaged a double-double last year. Dario Saric was also a complimentary piece for them. They added veteran Jay Crowder, who played for the Heat and was a big part of that Miami Heat rotation that made it to the finals. And then they added the very athletic center from Maryland, Jalen Smith. And they are coached by Monty Williams, who's obviously done a great job with the Phoenix Suns. Now let's proceed to what they did last year. They exploded in the bubble. That's why they finished 34-39. They were unbeatable in the bubble. They even defeated the Dallas Mavericks 128-102 to finish their regular season. Great job indeed by Coach Monty Williams. And the champ, James Jones, is still their GM. If you look at the numbers, they're pretty good. They were 10th in offense. That's elite, top 10. Defense, yes, they were only 20th, but it's not that bad, right? It's not like, for a young team, they usually struggle on the defensive end. 20th is not bad. And then they were also 10th in pace. Their offensive rating, they were 12th. It's very good. And defensive rating, they were 17th. Even though, in spite of the strong finish, they actually were expected to have won 37 games, but ended up with 34. But all in all, the Suns had a great season because of the way they ended in the bubble. And they were only 17th though in attendance, but if they keep on winning, I'm sure that will improve. Let's now go to the schedule of the Phoenix Suns. So they'll be playing the Utah Jazz at the Vivint Smart Home Arena. Those will be their first two games. And then their last game in the preseason will be against the defending champions, Los Angeles Lakers, as they will be playing at the Phoenix Arena. So, who are their key additions for this season? They added Chris Paul. They also added the veteran Jay Crowder. Low-key addition Langston Galloway. And he can be a really big help. Can play both the point guard and two guard position. Known for his wingspan and his shooting. And they added front court depth by drafting rookie Jalen Smith. Now let's go to their key returning players. So as for their key returning players, they still have D-Book. Doesn't want to be called Devin Booker, so let's just call him D-Book. And then they have DeAndre Ayton. A lot of people are not talking about Ayton because of the way Doncic and Trae Young are playing, but DeAndre Ayton is actually very solid. He wasn't a bad first pick overall. It's just that, of course, they could have gotten Luka. But it's okay. DeAndre Ayton is solid. They still have Mikal Bridges, who was also a former lottery pick. Javon Carter was a second round pick, formerly. Did he play for the Grizzlies? But when he went to the Suns, it's like he really found his niche there and he signed a contract with them. Cam Johnson was their lottery pick last year. Pretty solid as well. And of course, they still have the veteran Dario Saric. Now let's go to the team stats of the Phoenix Suns. So as mentioned, Monty Williams really did a very good job as the Suns average. Believe it or not, they were first in the league in assists. Thus, they were 10th in points. Very good for the Suns. They, the 16th when it comes to turnovers, that's decent. It's not bad. They were only 29th though in blocks. Now, when it comes to their shooting percentages, they were 16th in three-pointers. They were 9th in two-point percentage. And they were 9th as well in their field goal percentage. So they really showed a lot of promise when it comes to their offense. And take note of this, first also in free throw percentage. Now, on the defensive end, Monty Williams is really known for, being a defensive-minded coach. He was also like that as a player. As I've said, 20th, you might say, oh, that's not good. But that's okay for a young team. That's not bad. And then when you look at their numbers, even though the teams were actually scoring on them, but you look at let's say the 3-point made and 3-point attempted by their opponents, they were 8th, 6th. And then when it comes though to the percentages, that's where they can improve because they were only 22nd in field goal percentage of their opponents and also 21st in 3-point percentage of their opponents as well. So they can obviously work on those things. Now let's proceed to their advanced stats. So because of their elite offense, their offensive rating was also pretty elite at 12 in the league. And even though they weren't like as elite when it comes to the defensive end, 17th is not too bad. Pace was also very good. They were top 10 in pace, so that's very good for them. And as mentioned earlier, the 17th in attendance, that will improve, especially if the Suns keep on winning games. Okay, so let's now proceed to their individual stats. Again, thank you to basketballreference.com for all the updated stats. Basketballreference.com is the way to go. Now, let's proceed to the stats. Of course, they lost Kelly Oubre. They also lost Ricky Rubio. But they did add Jay Crowder and they did add Chris Paul. So, those are pretty solid additions, especially because they will bring a lot of experience to this young team. Now, let's focus on the guys that are still with them. Devin Booker, he's a baller. D-Book is a baller. Look at this, 26.6 points, 6.5 assists, 4.2 rebounds. If Utah fans will still say that they didn't make a mistake by drafting Trey Lyles, who was also a former teammate of D-Book in Kentucky, that's just, they're still in the denial stage, man. This guy can ball. D-Book can ball. Look at that. 92% from the line. 54.9% from 2-point range. Surprisingly, he only shot 35% from 3 though. But when D-Book is all about buckets, right? Bucket getter. And how about the 6.5 assists? And then DeAndre Ayton, having a guy who averages 18 points per game, 12 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks. To think that he was suspended for like the first 25 games of the season wasn't. That's not a bad player at all. That's a franchise cornerstone right there. Yes, I know he's not averaging 29 like Trey, or he's not gonna be like arguably gonna be the MVP this season like Luka, but DeAndre Ayton is still pretty solid. Mikal Bridges. Not a lot of people are talking about the young fella, but the former Villanova standout. He's not like your star player, but he's a glue guy who can defend, guy who can hit the three. Very solid. Then you also have Dario Saric. Again, Saric is not your star player, but he's a very good complementary player, especially to DeAndre Ayton. Look at the numbers for Saric. He also shot 36% from 3. That's not bad at all. Together with his 11 points and 6 rebounds. There's a little bit of a big loss for them, Aaron Baines. And then 11th pick last year, Cam Johnson. Yeah, a lot of people were surprised that he got drafted that high. But the guy shot 39% from 3 and 44% from the field, averaged 8.8 points. That's not bad at all. They're pretty decent for Cam Johnson. Same thing as with Javon Carter, who really earned his spot as a backup point guard for the Phoenix Suns. Okay. So let's now proceed to my thoughts and predictions. Yes, sir. So thoughts and predictions for the Phoenix Suns. With Chris Paul on board and 2 young stars. D-Book, that guy's going to be a superstar. Ayton's going to be I don't know if he's going to be a superstar, but he will be a very, very good player as well. And you add Chris Paul, you add Jay Crowder, you add the confidence that they had in the bubble. If they start really strong, Phoenix will surely end their playoff drought and will make it to the playoffs. Am I saying they will be a top 4 team? Definitely not. But am I saying that they can make it all the way to the 6th or 5th seed? Yes, sir. And their worst case scenario for me is a 9th seed. That is if, let's say, injuries hit them. Maybe, just maybe, they'll miss out on the playoffs. But if not, they have this team and they're well coached by Monty Williams. For sure, they will make it to the playoffs. So finally, the Suns looking like they're going to break their playoff drought. Okay, so let's now proceed to our shoutouts. Again, thank you to Snuggle Moments PH. The snuggle is real. Also, thank you to Yo and Yes. These are our main sponsors. It's the reason why we have these episodes. And then I would like to personally thank Basketball Academy. Please follow them on Twitter. Whoever these guys, they keep on retweeting and sharing my posts. Thank you. And then also to House of Spice Manila. The tea looks really, all of them are good, all the products. And then thank you also to my classmates in high school. We'll be having the M-Boys Fantasy League. Yes, I'm super excited for this. I wasn't so much of a fun classmate to be with when I was in high school. So for these guys to invite me, I really appreciate it. Took me 15 years to kind of realize that these, for me to miss yung lahat ng mga kakulitan nila. Pero still, I'm very thankful and looking forward to. So salamat sa mga kaklase ko sa high school for inviting me. I'm very excited sa ating Fantasy League. Okay, so to end our episode again, please like and share the video. And then after that, do not forget to comment your thoughts. And of course, so that you can follow all the videos of the Dropping Dimes podcast, do not forget to subscribe. Hit on that subscribe button and also click on that notification bell para pwede nyong masundan lahat ng mga videos natin. Meron na rin akong ginagawa ngayon na I'm posting the videos also on Facebook so that you can watch them as well on our Facebook page. So again, sobrang salamat po sa lahat ng mga sumusuporta. Many, many thanks to everyone. I really appreciate it. So we'll see you on the next episode of the Dropping Dimes podcast. This is J.I. Dimes. Keep safe, everyone.